In this video, I'll show you the result of running 100 maps with a focus on boss rushing and smugglers' caches, farming contracts and blueprints. I prepared 50 alleyways and 50 strand maps, all chiseled to 20% quality and elked. I also purchased 25 sextants, giving my maps an additional smuggler's cache. Now there are two important things you want to know before you start farming contracts. You're going to want to know how to sell these on the Forbidden Trove Discord server, as it's going to be a pain selling contracts and blueprints through the trade site. Secondly, we're not going to be picking up just any contracts we find. We're going to be picking up specific job types within specific ranges. Now, this sounds a lot more bothersome than it actually is. The contracts we'll pick up are Deception 1 to 5, Counter Thaumaturgy 1 to 5, and Perception 1 to 3. Now, the reason we only pick up these job types is that Deception, Perception, and Counter Thaumaturgy are used by the rogues Gianna and Niles, and the heisters run their contracts with these rogues to farm reveals so that they can run their blueprints. Gianna can run Deception contracts up to level 5, Counter Thaumaturgy up to a level of 3, and Perception up to a level of 2. Niles can run Counter Thaumaturgy up to a level of 5, and Deception to a level of 4. This might make you wonder why we're picking up Perception up to a level of 3, but there's actually a piece of rogue gear that gives your rogues +1 to a level of all jobs, meaning Gianna can run Perception up to level 3. When it comes to blueprints, we're going to be picking up every single one that we find. This is the Atlas tree I chose to run with. I'm blocking everything except for heist and picking up all the map nodes for self-sustain and to be able to sell maps in bulk. We're picking up Stream of Consciousness, and I'm choosing to run Exarch on my maps. We're also picking up everything related to the map boss to drop as many Conqueror maps as possible. Now, I'm also choosing to pick up Harbinger and a bit of Shrines. It's because this is the content I feel slows me down the least in my maps. I tried Essences, but my build isn't extremely good in single target, and they often took too long or I died to the Essences, so I chose to switch to Harbinger. Alright, this is a result from running the 100 maps. As you can see, most of our profit is going to come from maps, blueprints, and contracts. In these rows, we've got Deception, Perception, Counter Thaumaturgy, Lockpicking, and for the blueprints, we've got Thieves' Trinkets, Enchanted, Unusual Gems, and Replicas. We also managed to pick up 4 Exarch invitations. Now, most of these divination cards are between 2 and 4C, except we got one for Skin of the Lords and Skin of the Loyal. We also picked up a bunch of Synth and Guardian maps. For the currency, we picked this up, 2 Divines in 100 maps. Now, you be the judge if that's lucky, unlucky, or to be expected. I'll go sell all of this and return with a profit or loss breakdown. Alright, I managed to sell all of my blueprints and almost all of my contracts. This time around I experimented with picking up lockpicking contracts, but I couldn't really get them sold, so I'll probably not do that next time. And here you can see a breakdown of my tabs in Excellence. As you can see here, Excellence calculates that my initial investment in maps and sextants was around 442 chaos, and at the end, after selling all of my contracts and blueprints, we ended at 4,100 chaos total. I've also tried mapping out my expenses and my total income in a sheet, as you can see here. I calculate my initial cost of maps, chisels, sextants to be around 685 chaos, with the total earned from Excellence, 4,141, we made a profit of around 3,456 chaos. Now with current divine prices, which are around 250 chaos. This would be 13.8 divines profit. While I ran the maps, I also took a rough estimate of the time it took me to complete a map, which was on average 2 minutes 5 seconds. This means I completed these 100 maps in roughly 3.4 hours. This also means that for me and for my build, this is a roughly 4 divine an hour strategy. So what's the conclusion? While I definitely don't think it's a bad way to make currency, there are better ones out there right now. It gets very trade heavy when you have to trade your blueprints and your contracts, and depending on the competition in the Discord when you're trying to sell, you're gonna have to price them very aggressively and potentially lose out on some profit. The longer you sit and trade, the less time you're gonna spend in maps. I'd also definitely not recommend this strategy if your build can't run a layout like alleyways or strand in less than 2.5 minutes. At that point, you're way better off farming something else. That being said, you are going to make currency with this farm, but it's up to you to decide whether you and your build could farm something else for more profit an hour. I'll see you next time.